WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. I'm JR. I'm your host. And today's episode is real conceptual, but it'll make sense to you. Stacey and I have been on vacation, and we had to make a quick trip into Virginia, my hometown of Lynchburg, to go see my mother and take care of some business with her. Now, the crazy thing that happened is at the hotel that we were staying at, I ran into one of my cousins, a great lady by the name of Brennan. We hadn't talked in some time. And I'm talking about, when I talk about some time, probably like 10, 12, 15 years. Like just sat down and talked. And growing up, this was somebody I used to talk to every single day. So she made me realize something that I'd never thought of. Now, we always think of the concept of you actually missing someone. But what if we like flipped that around and thought about like actual missing people from in our lives? Like there's people that are missing that we didn't know were missing until we realized that they weren't there. So in talking to Brennan, literally we talked for like 3 or 4 hours at night. I realized that it was so many people that are missing from in my life, like that different things that have happened in life to make them disappear or go away. Not so much in the subtle manner of, oh, get out of here or go into my memories museum because you've done me dirty, but it's crazy how we age and how subtle changes and just as simple as moving away or joining up with different groups or interests just changing, how many people go missing in our lives. So I took it upon myself to think about some of these factors. And the number one factor that I can at least say in my life that has been an issue has been money. Money moved me in different directions. And I hate to say that as a person, but I truly can say that a lot of people went missing in my life due to the changes in the thoughts that I had about money. And going deeper into that, it was real simple like this. Anyone that didn't prescribe to my method of let's do better than what we were doing yesterday, I would stay around those people for a while. But if I didn't see situations improving, or not so much improving, but just seeing things like, change with these people, like these people actually evolve over time, not seeing this made it to where I was like, hey, I can go about my business. I don't need this person around as much as I thought I did because they're not having any type of progression or any type of movement that insinuates good things for my life. So I'm like, hey, get out of here. Boom, you're gone. And I have no issue with that. I can do that so fast that it's almost uncanny to me. It's almost unnatural that I can just let go of people like that. Now, one thing I will say here, and I will go along with this adage that everybody has, and that you can't get rid of everybody, and that is true. Some people you do need to take a grain of salt with because not everybody's expendable. And I will say some people are, but not everybody is. So getting that there, then the next thing is just attitude. When I was younger, I let a lot more things slide than I do as an adult. As an adult, I do no tomfoolery whatsoever. So if it's something that's against the grain, that person is gone so fast that doesn't even bother me. Then the next thing is just geographical change. Coming to West Virginia, leaving Virginia, it's not that I turned my back on people, but I took enough time and I took a smart route to realize that, hey, these are not the people for me anymore. So, I've kept some friends, and then other people I've just kind of let them go. But where I realized that I'm missing some people is when I was talking to Brennan, it was just stories and different things in the way that my mentality was, the way that I was moving. I don't even know who that person is now. Like that person was a whole 10, 15, 20, like you said, 15 years ago. I was a totally different person. So with that being said, I can understand where I'm missing certain people, like they're missing in that plane. Now, the emotional missing was never the case with any of this, because if these people were here for a reason, these people left for a reason. So I can definitely accept that. I can go on in life and nothing bothers me there. But me in general as a person, just dealing with things, I thought on the next step. Why do we miss people when they leave, or when things take people away from our life? Because it was a moment in time that we had a certain bit of innocence, or something in that moment caught us that we don't have anymore. And I realized that the nostalgia that I had that I don't have now, there was a lot more camaraderie. There was a lot more, I'm down for my people, let's do this and that, group efforts. It was more groups. It was more people involved with the things I was doing. I mean, I have steady groups of people and I have friends, but it wasn't the type of devotion or the type of blind devotion that we would have for things that I do now, because we've all been played and tricked and got life lessons. So, it's kind of like now, I'm older, so I'm a little bit wiser. So I'm not going to let this happen to me, and I'm not going to go do this and that, because it can cause financial problems, relationship issues. So I think having more life lessons and having more wisdom, the people that are missing, I'm kind of glad that some of them are missing. Now, some of the antics and the stories and the things that took place there, yeah, I miss that kind of stuff, because truth be told, because of the pandemic and because of the way that we do things now, everybody moves a little different. Even I move different. I'm social, but I'm not as social as I used to be, and I'm very Klansman-like. And when I say Klansman, like, I stick to my clan. Like, I have a group of people that I've developed with and that I have relationships with, so I deal with these people, and we add new people in here and there. And when I say new people, I'm talking about like friendships. I'm not talking about listeners or people that come to be involved because of hobbies and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like actual bona fide people. Not everybody's going to get to walk through that door with me. Not everybody is going to enter into some type of friendship or into some portal or portion of what I'm doing. I'm going to be cautious on that one, because you know how things happen, and we all know how things play out with people. You have to be very careful in this day and age, because intention and drive and how people move are way different from a long time ago. There's a lot more hidden agendas now than there probably were back then. And yes, there were a lot of hidden agendas back then, but a lot of it you could see when someone's pulling the wool over you. But now people are so descriptive and so deceitful in what they're doing that they can put the wool over your eyes and make it look like what you want. And next thing you know, it's something crazy. So on that one, missing people, I can see, why there's people that are actually missing in your life. And like I said, it was weird that concept just came over me, and I just thought about it, while I was talking to my cousin I hadn't talked to in years. It was just like all this nostalgia, all these people, man. And some of them have the same narrative. Like, one thing that really bothers me in our society is that we have pressures that come on, mental pressures, physical pressures that come on that allow us to get into vices. And our vices could be anything. They can be drugs. They could be forms of abuse that we take on. Mainly those two. Let's just leave it at that: drug use, and then any type of abuse that we take on ourselves. Because some abuse we do take on not knowingly in some parts of some people. So I'm not going to go into traumas or anything like that or break it down or be very subjective or objective or to anything that I'm saying at the moment. But I'm just going to say this. Those are two things right there that I've noticed put a divide between us in friendships, relationships, and life, and cause people to go missing. It's as simple as just, all it takes is one mix up, one mess up, one issue with something, and then I'm gone. And I can see that with other people too. And mainly with me, it's just because like friendships are not built the way they were. But that's a whole nother episode for another day. So take this with you, for example, and walk with this. Are there people missing in your life? Do you have missing people? Not people that you're missing, but actual missing people, like people that were part of a persuasion or something that was going good for you, and how they're missing. Take some time to think about it and think about if it's worth rekindling, or are they missing for a good reason? So on that note, I'm JR from West Virginia Commonplace. Like always, like, subscribe, follow Sparrows Under Review. West Virginia Commonplace presents a collection. Either way, there's an array of shows for you.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.